But yeah, it's really, really lovely just to see everybody. I'm so pleased we can come together, at least in our minds, through the help of Zoom. We're all in each other's minds at the moment, and we're all here obviously to celebrate Sangha Day. So what I'd like to do to start off with is to hand over to Sarvajit, who is going to be launching the Dharma economy. So without further ado, very, very significant and inspiring project, actually, the Dharma economy, but I will say no more because Sarvajit will say it all. So over to Sarvajit.
Oh, that's my dog. Thanks very much. Thanks very much for that. It's great to see so many people. It's really exciting. I'm excited actually about the whole day, the program, the talks that are coming up, and the Mitra ceremonies as well, which obviously I find really inspiring. I love that. But before all that, it is my great privilege this afternoon to declare that Cambridge Buddhist Centre are formally launching our move towards a Dharma economy today. So this announcement is on behalf of the whole council, and we've unanimously decided to go ahead with this transformative move, largely based on the response and the feedback we received from my talk at Sangha Night, which was just under 4 weeks ago. So for those of you who missed the talk, I do believe it's still available on YouTube, so it's possibly worth listening to. I outlined our vision of Dharma economy then. I'm quickly going to revisit the main points and then discuss what our next steps are, really based on the very constructive comments we received from the Sangha after that talk. So bear with me, some of my comments will be the same as at Sangha Night, so apologies to those that have already heard it, but I do think that the points are worth repeating. So what is the Dharma economy? Well, the usual translation of the word Dharma is generosity, or perhaps more accurately, giving. But what does that have to do with the way we run the Buddhist Centre? Well, let's just dare to dream of building a thriving Buddhist community based on generosity, where the Sangha works together with a shared purpose, cultivating a culture where we give what we can for the benefit of others. A thriving community working together to spread the Dharma free of charge. A Buddhist centre that is open to all, regardless of their ability to pay. And that is the Dharma economy. Why is this so important? Well, as Sangharajta says, in a sense, dana, or giving, is the basic Buddhist virtue, without which you can hardly call yourself a Buddhist. Dana consists not so much in the act of giving, as in the feeling of wanting to give, of wanting to share what you have with other people. This feeling of wanting to give or share is often the first manifestation of the spiritual life. So that is the vision, a Buddhist centre that is open to all, regardless of their ability to pay. But what does that mean in practice? Well, our meditation teachers and Dharma teachers have always made their time a gift, as has everyone who has supported our many activities. Whether online or face-to-face, from now on, we want our meditation and Buddhism classes to always be without charge, even when we return to our physical building. And we want everyone who comes to our centre to feel empowered to give themselves in whatever way they can, to be part of something radical, a community that gives to the world and to one another without expecting anything in return. We want to welcome strangers into our centre and be open to all, regardless of their financial situation. So, as far as possible, all our core Buddhist activities will now be free of charge, with the financing of the centre based on donations. We believe that if we're trying to create a Buddhist community, then we shouldn't charge people to be part of that community. Equally, we should provide the Dharma because we believe in its benefit to the world, not because we need to generate funds for the centre. As such, we don't want to charge for courses as if we were an adult education business. There are many benefits to such a move towards a Dana economy. I outlined many of them in my previous talk, but they include a change of culture as we all become part of building a community based on generosity, a potentially significant change to the demographic attending the centre, moving towards a younger, possibly poorer, more ethnically diverse population, and potentially a large increase in the number of people attending the centre. Hopefully, the Buddhist Centre can become a beacon of hope for the world, a place where we can come together in a spirit of friendliness and generosity, where we can all flourish and help each other to reach our full potential. I hope you'll agree this is an exciting vision that speaks to our Dharma lives and values. And based on this compelling vision, the Council have decided to launch the Dana economy today. But why now, you may ask? Well, we have done extensive research. We've talked with several other Buddhist centres. We've assessed the financial viability of the move, and we are genuinely excited by the opportunities this offers. Plus, we've received enthusiastic support from the Sangha after the Sangha night talk. And of course, to a large extent, we're already running the Dana economy. Since the COVID crisis began, we have not charged for our online classes, for instance. And if it wasn't for the generosity of all of you donating to the centre, we would be in serious financial trouble. Instead, we're in a very sound position due to your Dana. So it would be untruthful of the Council to pretend that the decision has not been made. We are committed to this. However, that doesn't mean we have all the answers. What is clear in our conversations with other centres is that there is not a one-size-fits-all method to running a Dana economy. And different centres have different approaches depending on their financial needs, their building constraints, their course content, the demographics of their Sangha, and the culture of the centre. There are many questions that we still need to look at in more detail, many of which were raised in response to the Sangha night talk. For instance, what do we charge for and what don't we charge for? Do we charge for retreats, for instance? Will people commit to courses if they don't have to pay? What could this mean for our booking system if we're not charging and we're opening up to course for donations in a compelling way that doesn't feel like we're demanding money? And should we provide advice on suggested amounts to give, or leave it to everyone to determine the value that they've received? All of these are questions that we're pondering at the moment. We should also recognise that with any significant change, there are challenges. One major challenge with moving to a Dana economy and changing the culture of the centre is to make sure that what makes the current Sangha so strong is not damaged by the move, even as we recognise the positive benefits of such a transformation. There is bound to be nervousness that will need to be addressed. Change will always create a feeling of unease, as well as a sense of opportunity. So to that end, we would really like to hear from you to understand what excites you about such a move, but also understand what concerns you may have. Because for this to work, we will need everyone to share and believe in the vision, with everyone entrusted to make it happen. The Council are committed to making the change, but we are still working through the details. And this will be an ongoing process as we roll this out and learn more. And most importantly, we want the Sangha to be behind the change. We want you all to be engaged in this move, to make constructive suggestions so that you feel like creators instead of consumers. As I said, we've already had an enthusiastic response from Sangha night with a lot of positivity and excitement. But there are also several ideas raised that will need careful consideration as we progress. For instance, it's recognised that the Dana economy is more than just money and donations. People can give in many different ways, and we would like to develop a culture that makes it easy for people to contribute in a variety of different ways. We also want to appreciate the involvement of everyone, those that give subtler and less visible types of generosity, as we all help to build a network of friendship that supports our spiritual development. To that end, it was questioned whether the term Dana economy is maybe not the best term for what we are trying to achieve. It is much more than just a financial exchange. It is a complete transformation of our culture, a bold vision that encompasses our deepest Buddhist values. So please let us know if there are any suggestions for a different phrase that might better capture this vision. I quite like the phrase Dana community, but I'm sure there are more creative ideas out there. Also raised was the question of how we make it clear that we really are providing the Dharma free of charge, even as we ask for donations. Communication needs to be exactly right to avoid the request for Dana looking like some covert charge that people feel pressurized into paying. And one final example of the feedback we've received: how do we communicate the benefits of a Dana economy in a way that broadens our appeal to create a younger, more socially diverse Sangha? These are just 4 examples of that feedback, and of all these areas, plus many more, can be found as we move forward on this exciting journey. So I'd like you to all give this announcement some thought, and if anything arises that you would like to share with the Council, then please get in touch, either by emailing info@Cambridge Buddhist Centre with Dana economy in the subject field, or by speaking with any of the Council members directly. So that's Arthasiddhi, Vidyasakhi, Viryajyoti, Artapriya, Samudraghosha, Kamalamati, Sanganath, or myself. Remember, this is your Sangha, this is your centre. By working together, we can transform it into a really thriving Buddhist community based on generosity, based on Dana. Thanks very much.
Great, many thanks, Sarvajit, for that very uplifting announcement. Beautifully done. It's been very, very inspiring, actually, kind of talking about this this development, and it says something about Sangha, doesn't it? This possibility that seems so different from the sort of default mode of the world, the sort of exchange economy, is possible within Sangha.